feeling like your nervous system is just about to pop off. This doesn't make someone a bad parent. It simply makes them human. But when multiple people inside of a home are all carrying these dysregulated nervous systems, again, think about all those stormy waters mixing. The emotional climate can become so unstable. These small little stressors, they feel huge. Everyone's patience runs thin, reactions happen faster, and those children, those ones whose nervous systems are still developing, they're absorbing that energy and they're learning how to respond off of that energy. Hello, and welcome back to the Nature to Nurture podcast. I'm Tiffany, and this is a space where we talk about caregiving, family life, and the environments that help children and families to truly thrive. One of the things that I believe deeply is that children grow best when the adults around them feel supported, when they are regulated, and when they are connected, not just to their children, but to their community, to their rhythm, and to the environments that really do help families to feel grounded. Today, we're going to be talking about something that quietly shapes family life every day. It shapes everyone's day. The emotional climate of a home. You know how sometimes you can walk into a house and you can almost feel the energy inside immediately. Sometimes a home feels calm and steady, and other times it feels tense, rushed, like everyone is slightly on edge, maybe even a little electric. Nothing dramatic may have happened to cause that, but the atmosphere in the space just feels different. Maybe you felt that outside of the home too. In a classroom, in a workspace, in a cafe. Over the years, both in my own home and in the work that I do with families, I've started to really pay attention to this emotional climate more and more. Because what I understand is that the emotional climate of a home, it's not just created by children's behavior. It's shaped by something so much deeper. It's shaped by the nervous systems of the adults that are caring for the kids that are in that household. And it's not because parents control everything, but it's because a children's nervous system is constantly responding to the emotional environment that they are surrounded by. And once you start paying attention to this, so many of those little everyday parenting moments start to make more sense. It starts to click on why tension is spreading through the house and why one person's internal stress can ripple outward. It explains why some of the days feel peaceful and other days feel like chaos. And today, what I want to explore is why this happens and how families can begin gently shifting their emotional atmosphere inside of their own homes. One of the most important things that we know about child development is that children do not learn emotional regulation alone. They learn it through connection. I've talked about this before. I'll link some episodes in the show notes if you want to learn more. This process is called co-regulation. When children are young, their nervous system relies on the regulation of the adults around them. I want you to think about a baby who is crying. What helps that baby to calm down? It's not logic. It's not reasoning. That's not going to work with a baby. It's a simple, regulated presence. A calm voice. A caregiver whose body is helping the child to settle. And over time, children do start to develop their own ability to regulate. That's true. But that process takes time. It takes many years. Even school-aged children, teenagers, young adults are all still deeply influenced by the emotional signals of the adults who are around them. Children are constantly reading the environment and absorbing it. The tone of voice, the body language, the facial expressions, the energy in the room, and their nervous system responds. When adults are calm, when adults are grounded, the children settle. But when adults are stressed or reactive, the children can feel that too. It's not because anyone is doing anything wrong, but it's because our nervous systems really are wired for connection and living together, working together. There's this amazing image example of what co-regulation is. And so I want you to first envision a boat in a storm. And the boat is your child, right? And the storm is the dysregulation of emotions. It's the environment that they are in. And when they go into your calm waters, that can also calm the storm they are in. But if they mix with your stormy waters, that can make everything harder as well. And so how can we bring in our calm waters? I think that's one big piece to think about as caregivers so that they can learn how to be in calm waters as well. And it doesn't mean storms won't rise, because they rise for everybody. Life happens. It might be something that's work-related. It might be something within your family. It might be some dysregulation that's been living inside of you, right? It happens. And I want to talk to you about that right now. You see, there's this layer to the conversation that I know is extremely important to acknowledge. And that's that many adults today are carrying stress or trauma or both that has never fully been processed or healed. Sometimes the trauma is obvious, right? It can be major life events like loss of a loved one, difficult childhood experiences. Sometimes, though, it's a lot quieter. Sometimes it means growing up in environments where this emotional regulation was not modeled, so you don't know what it looks like. Maybe it means that you were living through chronic stress or carrying these generational patterns of survival, not thriving, right? And when adults carry this unresolved stress inside of their nervous system, it shows up in these subtle ways, like feeling super easily overwhelmed, reactive, feeling like your nervous system is just about to pop off. This doesn't make someone a bad parent. It simply makes them human. But when multiple people inside of a home are all carrying these dysregulated nervous systems, again, think about all those stormy waters mixing. The emotional climate can become so unstable. These small little stressors, they feel huge. Everyone's patience runs thin. Reactions happen faster. And those children, those ones whose nervous systems are still developing, they're absorbing that energy and they're learning how to respond off of that energy. In many ways, what we're seeing happening across families and communities is something much larger. It's a collective dysregulation, right? Stop and think about that for a second. Think about what's been going on over the past few months and how you've been feeling. As a community, as a whole, people are tired. We are overstimulated. I know I am. I have been putting up boundaries because it is coming in to me from left and right, dysregulating me even when I'm trying not to. I'm carrying the stress, and maybe you are too, from this years of pressure, of uncertainty, COVID, hello, and now we're here, and this constant information overload that we've been receiving. So when parents are struggling with regulation, I think it's really important that we approach that with compassion, because it's not easy. And it's like the world is trying to put you through the ringer, right? Put you through the hurricane. One thing that I think we often forget is that many adults in our world, they weren't taught how to regulate their nervous system to begin with. And now we're in this place with this overload, right? And then let's add another piece of this to the puzzle. Let's talk about the environment we live in. You know, how stimulating this modern 2026 life is, where our kids have school, they have activities, they have screens that are consistent, noise, friends, they are constantly transitioning. Classes are short, lunch is even shorter. And adults, we're experiencing the same thing. We now have this opportunity, I know a lot of us, to work remotely or more in community, not just in an office, which means more transitions as well, right? More availability. We have our phones consistently on. We've got these notifications going off, emails, schedules, so many apps. The information is coming at us all day long. Our nervous system evolved in these environments that were actually slower, right? Where nature provided rhythm. It was your alarm clock for when to get up and go to sleep. For these periods of activity, followed by these periods of rest, whether in the day or in the month or in the year. But many families today, they move from one exciting, stimulating, sometimes overwhelming ask to the next without giving themselves much time to settle. And when our nervous systems are staying activated for these long periods of time, emotional regulation, it becomes so much harder because we're not in the rhythm of it. We're not in the habit of it, right? And that's why families are experiencing days where everyone is seeming reactive at the same time and you can't get out of it. The nervous systems in the house are overloaded. Simple as that. The hopeful part of this conversation, though, is that the emotional climate of a home can shift. It can change. And it's not through perfect parenting, but it's through awareness. It's one person in the system, in a home, starting to regulate themselves more intentionally. That one step can influence the entire environment. Our children, they don't need perfectly calm parents and caregivers. They need adults who are aware of their own nervous systems and are willing to pause. Because sometimes that pause, that taking a deep breath before responding, or stepping outside for a moment, slowing down during a time that's usually rushed, those small moments of regulation, they ripple outward. And over time, they begin shaping the entire atmosphere that these kids are growing up in. They begin changing the waters, bringing them back to calm. If you are feeling this conversation, stay here for a few more minutes. I'm going to share with you a few simple practices that you can experiment with today. The first one is to regulate yourself. When you're feeling tension rise with your child, that's your cue to pause and take a slow breath. Relax your shoulders and slow your voice. Children often settle faster when adults regulate themselves first. Two quick types of breathing are to breathe in for 5 seconds, hold for 1, and let it all out. Or you can do the square breathing where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and repeat. Okay, the next tip that I want to talk about is slow transitions. Many times family conflicts happen during transition times, right? When you're leaving the house, when you're starting homework, or when you're getting ready for bed. I encourage you to add 5 minutes of extra room in that transition and see how it can change the energy of those moments dramatically. I started giving myself extra time in our morning transition, and we are no longer arguing to get out the door. Mainly it was my fault because I was always late, but I encourage you to schedule more time, give more space for those transitions, for those routines that start and close your day or that go from one space to another. The next tip is to create gentle rhythms. A child's nervous system relaxes when life is feeling predictable. That means our bedtimes, our meals, our quiet times, these rhythms that are signaling safety. I want you to think about one routine that you already do or that you'd like to instill. It could be a simple time when you're saying goodnight or when you sit down to eat. What is one thing that you can do on repeat each day? Similar wording, similar location, similar feeling that you can be consciously present in. That will help your child and you to feel a little bit more predictable. And the last one of my favorites, is to spend time outside. I love nature, and I hope you know by now that nature is one of the most powerful nervous system regulators available. Time outside lowers our stress hormones. It improves our mood, and it supports emotional regulation. Small, little moments can help. Maybe it's a weekly walk. Maybe it's taking some time to work in the garden or to watch the sunset. But nature reminds our bodies of the rhythm that we were designed for, of the rhythm that already lives around us. Take some time, step outside. In the past, I've told you if you can't step outside, go to the window and watch the wind or watch something natural moving. The simple rhythmic movement of nature can help calm your nervous system, and it calms kids too, right? If there's one idea that I really want you to walk away with from today, it is this one right here. The emotional climate of a home, it's not built through perfect parenting. It is built through regulated presence. It is built through adults who are slowly learning how to take care of their own nervous systems while also caring for the children around them. This work is not about fixing everything overnight. It's about awareness, compassion, and small moments of regulation that will ripple outward. When adults begin healing and regulating themselves, they create environments where children feel safer, calmer, and more supported. And that right there is where children can truly thrive. If this conversation impacted you in any way, I would love it if you could please follow the podcast so you don't miss upcoming episodes, and leave a review. Or if you're over on Spotify, you can actually leave me comments down below in Spotify. I'd love to read those from you, see what you're thinking about this episode, see what's coming up. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to be continuing this conversation about caregiving, family rhythms, and the invisible work that supports children and families. I've also created a fun little companion resource called the Calm Home Reset Guide. It includes a few reflections and some simple practices that families can use today to begin shifting that emotional climate inside of their homes. So you can download that guide and you can join the Nature to Nurture newsletter by using the links that are down in the show notes. And finally, I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for the important work that you are doing, caring for children. And remember, your calm waters can meet theirs and bring calm to their ocean as well.